And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to make each of the 7 chords of a key. So each key has 7 chords, 7 diatonic chords in it. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that here. And I'll give you a little example here of just some of the chords in a key of C, for instance. So we have C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B diminished, and C again. Here's the C major scale. Forget about the chord names, but we have the notes C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. There's no sharps, no flats. It just is what it is right there. So those notes make up the C major scale, and they also make up 7 chords, as you could see. The C is the 1 chord. D minor is the 2 chord. As you can see, those Roman numerals before them are the numbers of the chords, or the like the Nashville system, if you want to give Nashville the credit for this, although this system goes way, way back, apparently, to Bach, the Bach days. And so it's also just the order of the notes here. So you get C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, and a B diminished. Now in a key, the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord are always major, okay, in a standard diatonic key. And you have the 2, the 3, and the 6 chord, which are always minor in the standard diatonic key, okay? Just like right here, like we played earlier, the C, major chord, we go up to F, the 4 chord is major, the 5, G is major. Okay, those are the 3 major chords. If you go to D minor, minor chord, E minor, minor, and go up to A, is minor. B diminished, but it's right here, because it's a little bit different than the regular triads. And we're working off triad chords today, just the root, the 3rd, and the 5th. So we're not going to leave out the B diminished, because it's there and it's important right there. Sounds like this. We're going to take the root, the 3rd, and the 5th. So to build a chord, you're skipping 1 note each time. You have C, skip the D, you have an E. Skip the F, you have a G. If we want to go from C to E, it's going to be how many half steps is that? We have C to C sharp, that's 1. C sharp to D is 2. C sharp to D sharp is 3. And D sharp to E is 4. So 4 half steps in the chromatic scale give you your 3rd of C major. So from C, 4 half steps up, 1, 2, 3, 4. So check it out. We have a C, then an E. So it's always going to be that way. So you're always going to have that 1, 2, 3, 4. That's from C to E. Okay, so we have the 3rd right there. So if we want to build the 5th, how many half steps are off the 3rd? So if you look at the E, E to F is 1, F to F sharp is 2, F sharp to G is 3. So you have 3 half steps off of the 3rd to the 5th. So it's like this. E, go up 3, so 1, 2, 3. And you have G. So now that makes your chord C, E, G. And there's your beautiful C chord right there. You'll see that from C to E is the major 3rd, but we're going to play a chord, so I'm going to play that E note on the D string right here instead of playing it here. So I can't play a chord on 1 string, right? So I'm going to play that chord right here. So that's the shape of a 3rd. It's also 4 semitones away. 1, 2, 3, 4, which is, good to know. And we'll get to why a little bit more on there. Just good to know how far away your intervals are as far as steps go. Okay? Now, if you look at the distance between the third and the fifth, the G, that's actually a minor third away. Because it looks like this. So really, your chord, your regular C triad chord, is 2 chords built together. A C chord and an E minor chord. That's an E minor. It's right in the middle of your C chord. And an E minor. But together, they build a triad of an E chord. Now, I made a few charts and graphs here today. If you want these, just email me at info@cherrycherry. I'll shoot them over to you. Those are the chords. Those are the notes of the D minor. Because really the simplest way to think about this and to look at it is the notes of the C major scale. C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. We're skipping a note each time to build a chord. Stacking thirds. So D, skip the E, go to F. F, skip the G, go to A. That makes your D, F, and A notes. The way we made that is the same as how we made the major chord. D to F is 3 half steps. F, so you got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's a little bit different going from the minor third to the fifth. There's 4. So it reversed the roles. And that's what's cool about analyzing this and breaking it down. From the C to the E was 4 half steps. Okay, and then from the E to the G, which make up the C chord, is 3. So the roles were reversed going to the next 2 chords, the 2 chord. So the D to the E is 3, and then the F. So because it's narrower, it's going to be wider going from the third to the fifth. The third chord, E minor. E minor. Well, how's that E minor built? Well, just like any other chord, the 3 chord, we're taking the E, we're going to skip the F to G. That's the third, because it's 3. E is now the 1 of the 3 chord, right? So E to F, and then, E, skipping the F, going to G, G, skip the A, go to B. So E, G, and B. Now, why is that E minor? Well, we just figured that out because it's just numbers. C, D, E, F, G. I'm trying to make this as clear as possible here. And the C major scale is just C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And to build chords, you're just skipping one note. You're stacking thirds. Okay, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. If we start on the third note, E, right there, and we skip F, go to G, we have the root, the third. If we skip A and go to B, we have the root, third, and fifth. If we look at E, we want to go to G, it's the same thing as what D minor was now. So E, F, F sharp, G, we have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 half steps going to the third. That means it's minor. E, 3 half steps, 1, 2, 3, to G, which is a minor third. Then you have 4 whole steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, to the fifth. So it's just like the D minor chord, but starting on E. 1, 2, 3 gives you the minor third. And then from G to B, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have a minor triad and a major triad put together, E and G. Just like the C, just like the D minor, just like the E. So that's why it is a minor chord right there. So it's all based on this formula. of half steps and whole steps. It also looks like this in this position. Now looking at the 4 chord, it changes a little bit right there. Because now we're building the 4. So if we keep going with the F, no, with the 4 chord, F going down there. So we're going to skip the G. We're going to A. So that's going to be the 3rd. And always remember, like the 4 chord, the F, even though it's the 4 of C, it's really thinking of it's a new thing now. Because the F, all the chords have a root, a 3rd, and a 5th. So we're looking at the F as its own thing. So within itself, within the 4 chord, the F is the 1 of itself, right? So now we skip the G, we go to A. That's going to be the 3rd. Because the G would actually be 2. So the G is the A is the 3rd. Skip B again and go to C. We're just revolving, rotating around. So the F chord is made up of F, A, and C. And looking at it just like we did this C chord, F sharp is 1 half step, G makes 2 half steps, G sharp is going to be 3 half steps, and A. So a major interval from F, just like the C. You're going to go up 4 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Like that. Just like we did from C. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the space and the distance. And that's good to know too. That's the space and distance between a major 3rd. Same thing here in C. We went to D. Here's the space between a minor. It's always going to look like that. Minor 3rd is going to look like this. You know, minor 3rd looks like that. From E minor, looks like this. C, looks like this. Going from the 3rd to the 5th was. So we did the F to the A. Now we have to go from the A to the C. And we know that already. If you go A sharp is 1 half step. B is the 2nd half step. C is a 3rd half step. Right there. Right? So A, 1 half step, 2 half step, 3. So we know it's an F, an A, and a C. And there's just your F chord right there. Looks just like the C chord. It's like a C shape too. And we could play it up here like this. We're having a good time here. We're learning some music. Hopefully enjoying this so far. If you are, hit that like button. Any questions, let me know. We go to the G chord. Okay, well, it's the same concept. How do we figure out the 5 chord? Why is the 5 chord major? Well, take that G, skipping a note. G is now the 1 of itself, right? G. Skip the A, go to B. So now we know the 3rd of G is B. Keep going around, skip the C, and go to D. So those are our 3 notes. And we're only dealing with 7 notes in this key of C. That's why it's real simple. But really, it's the same as every key. The only thing that makes any other key slightly complicated is that they may have the accidental. That's what it's called. It's called an accidental. But an enharmonic is an accidental, whether it's a sharp or flat. That's what it is. Enharmonic is the same note with a different name. Okay, so really, G is going to be a G, a B, and a D. And it's the same exact formula as any other major chord. So if we looked at the G note chromatically, if you want any of these graphs I'm building, I'll put together a PDF of this as well as the chord diagrams that I made as well. So G, skip G, no, skip it. G sharp is 1 half step, A is the 2nd half step, A sharp is the 3rd half step, B is the 4th half step. And that's your major triad right there. Just like we've been doing so far. You have the G right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's your B. Same thing as the F. Same thing as the C. Right? All the same. So the 3 major chords are 3 major triads like here. Now, if we continue on going from B to to D. The third to the fifth. D would be that. So if B to C is one half step, C sharp second half step, D. Just like that. So from B to D is 1, 2, 3 half steps away. So really, so far with these 5 chords so far, C, D minor, E minor, F, and G, they're pretty much the same looking, right? I mean, look, this is the same since it's an open G. It's here. That's the F. Let's go to A minor, the 6th chord. Just like the 2 and the 3, the 6 is a minor chord in the key as well. Because we're going down here, revolving around the notes of the C major scale. A, skip the B, go to C. So now the A is the root of A minor, C is the third. Skip the D, go to E. A, C, E. You go from A sharp is a half step, B sharp is a second half step, C, third half step. So you know it's there's the minor interval right there in half steps, 3. Just like that. So from A, let's just do it open. A, half step, half step, half step. So here's your C. Or even up here. A, half step, C. Right there, so. And there it is. There's that shape again. That minor shape. We'll go over here to the last chord. And it's the B diminished. And why is it strange and why is it diminished? Well, I didn't make this stuff up. You didn't make this stuff up. It's just the way it worked out. If we do the rotating thing, starting at B, B's the 7th note, 7th and final note of the scale, but it's the first within itself. It's its own thing. So we're going to skip the C, go to D. That makes the third of it. Now we're going to skip the E, go to F. Goes F. So that chord, B, D, and F. Now, when we go back here to this chromatic chart right here, we'll see why it's weird. Let's see. Why is it weird? So let's start from the B. We know we're going to a D. We have a C as the first half step, C sharp is the second half step, D. So you know it's a minor dyad, or minor third, right there, because it's only 3 half steps to the D. Now, what gets weird as well is, let's just keep doing what we're doing here. I'm going to just continue on here. So B, 3 half steps, 1, 2, 3. That's the minor third. Or up here. 1, 2, 3. You have that minor, just like the A was, just like the D, just like the E, just like the A. It's a minor, but it's diminished, and I'll show you here why. Because the next note is an F. From D to F, what do we have? D, we have D sharp, E, F. Guess what? This is the first minor chord where we counted only 3 half steps away from the third. If you recall, all the other ones were 4. It was a major third away from the minor third to the 5th. This one has only a minor third away from the third. So D sharp is 1, E is 2, F is 3. So what happens when you have 3 half steps away from the B here? Check it out. I mean from the D. 3 half steps away from the D. You have 1, 2, 3. You have the F note. So you have 2 minor thirds together. That's a diminished chord. All the rest of them all the rest of the minor chords look like this, right? But there's no F sharp in C. You have to go with the notes that are in the diatonic chord. So based on that formula, because a 5th from B is F, it makes this chord. And that's why you have the diminished chord in every key. That is my breakdown of how to build 7 chords of the key using half steps, whole steps, intervals, understanding intervals, and so how to make each of the 7 chords of the key. And that's what we did. Essential Skills Collection for Guitar at jerrycherry.com. I have 2 videos on fretboard memorization, shows you how to find every note quickly on the guitar neck, fretboard. Circle of Fifths goes into what we're talking about now, but in every key. Blues soloing, the cage system, all kinds of really, really cool stuff in there. There's 8 videos and 4 topics, and there's all kinds of backing tracks and charts in there. So you'll see that, a link in my description if you're interested in that. I would appreciate that, so please check that out. Thank you so much for that. Remember, guys, be cool, be kind, and be cherry. If you want to see another video on half and whole steps that are the foundation for building musical scales, much like we did today on chords, I'll put that video right up there. Love you guys. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.